AK, you made this?
What's up with everybody, man? I'm your host, Ivy, and you're sparking up with VANSNWEED. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that post notifications button, man. Today we got Adam KG outside with us.
Yep.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Man, I'm good. I'm blessed, man. I'm glad to see you here, for sure.
Thank you for having me.
On everything. So, first and foremost, shout out to social media and tell the people where they can find, your work.
Yeah. Social media, Shot by Adam KG on Instagram. I don't really have a YouTube. I have a couple channels, but I don't really post on there. Really, it's just Instagram, and then I got my website in there, and you can follow the links.
Right.
Pretty much.
I meant to ask you about that, but like, why don't you use your YouTubes? Like, you got so many videos with so many views that you shot, and you don't post on your own channel.
Well, there's a couple reasons for that. Like, I originally, when I first started shooting, I thought that was kind of the wave, because like, I saw that a lot of people that were directing videos, they also had their YouTube channel, and they were really pushing that. But then it was pretty quickly that I noticed that people wanted to post on Thizzler, they wanted to post on their own page, and I'm pretty for people like building up their own platform. Like, I think it's cool when people are able to like build up their own YouTube channel, and like, I'm able to be a part of that. So I don't really need to like build up my own name or whatever. Like, it doesn't really affect me too much. Like, if they want to post it on Thizzler or WorldStar or wherever they like, that's their decision. So it's like, I think also, if I did start posting on a YouTube channel, I would want to have like my full catalog of videos only on the YouTube channel, and I know that just wouldn't be possible because some people wouldn't post different places. So that would probably just bug me too much. So it was never like a big thing for me. Like, I thought about it, but I didn't do it.
Right. I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
For sure. So before we get into cinematography and you creating, amazing work or whatever, tell us about your childhood and your where you're from, and
Yeah. Well, nothing too crazy. I mean, when people really ask me about like how long have I been shooting videos, I usually say like since 2017, 2018, because that's when I started like taking music videos pretty seriously. But I've kind of always been behind the camera.
Right.
Pretty like when I was a little kid, I was like filming my action figures like with my mom's camera. It was just kind of like always a thing that I kind of had a part of me. And so in middle school, I went to Oakland School for the Arts.
Yeah.
And
that's dope.
Yeah, and I went there for visual arts, for drawing. And because that's what I was mostly into, like in elementary school, is like just drawing and doing a lot of like artistic stuff. So I was really into that. And then in high school, I was in the digital media program, and that's where like I kind of got when I started doing a lot of like documentaries. And then I think it was junior year that is when I started getting into music videos.
That shit loud as hell, but that shit it's gonna be alright.
Whatever. It's what it is.
Man. So what was the experience going to a school like that? It's not. Is it a public school?
It's a charter school.
Right,
so it's like it's not like a private school where you have to pay for it, but you have to audition to get in there. But honestly, it's more so about just, it's not like super hard to get into or anything. Like, it's, there's kids of all skill levels in there, but it's only about like at the time when you're applying, like how passionate you kind of are. And so most of the time, the people that when they applied and they got in like 6th grade, like they were super into one thing, and then by 12th grade, a lot of people just kind of stuck it out until high school, and it wasn't necessarily because of the arts. So there's super varying like skill levels and interest levels in arts, but there's definitely, I think I was really fortunate in being able to go to a school like that, because even though I don't think that the programs necessarily like the specific curriculum, like especially the film program, I didn't really learn very many hard skills in the class. It was more so in the morning we would have all the academic classes, and then in the afternoon after lunch we'd have off-campus lunch, and then we come back, and then for another like 4 hours from like 1 until 4 we basically, in my particular program that I was in, basically we're just given a laptop and then had a couple projects, but the projects that they gave us were easy. Like for anybody who like really was into like graphic design or photography or making videos, like the stuff that they made us do was super low bar.
Right.
So
just the basics, basically.
yeah, super basics, like stuff that I knew in 7th grade when it came to cameras. So it's like when I was in that program, it was just kind of like, oh, just do the little assignments or whatever. But then I had a whole other 4 hours to be able to sit behind a laptop and just like get into whatever I wanted to do. So it was great when I started shooting music videos, because I could just be in school and edit my fucking rap videos.
Thanks.
Like it was great, and all the teachers were really supportive. Like I was very lucky in the fact that I was able to go to a place like that and just feel very supported, and everybody around me is like excited about kind of getting into music videos, which I know isn't what everybody's experience is.
Right.
But
For sure. So I always rave about YouTube University and learning everything on YouTube. So is that what you did too?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like it, in a sense, like part of it was just me being interested in behind a camera for so long. Like it just kind of accumulated. But yeah, really mostly it's just all YouTube. All you like I would say 80% of what I know comes from YouTube. All right, let's be a little bit more conservative. Maybe like 60% of the like hard knowledge came from YouTube, and then I'd say like 35% is from just being out in the field, like on set, and kind of trying out new stuff. And then and then I'd say maybe 5% is like somebody specifically teaching me or telling me like this is how you do something, like in person. But yeah, mostly lot of skills learned from YouTube for sure.
Yeah, for sure. YouTube is definitely the place to go.
Yeah.
If you can't get it in person, definitely go on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
For sure. So, from what I could tell, you started out doing like street photography.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like shooting the homies and shit like that. I kind of got that vibe from like going all the way down your Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't necessarily say started out, because like that was just when I started my Instagram page.
Oh, okay. Right.
So it was because it was funny. Like I had a different page that was like my main page for a while, and then my main page now was just like my little corny little art page that I had in like middle school and freshman year of high school, that I just post like doodles and shit like that. And then so I just like all of the like really embarrassing like corny little doodles and stuff like that's all archived or deleted. That's not existent. But I think the first stuff that I was proud of that I posted that I'm like still cool with being there today is kind of like the street photography stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was always interested in doing that, and I think it kind of holds up to my style and what I'm into today. Like I've always kind of been into more realistic depictions of gritty life. In a sense, like I've always kind of liked, you know, like mob movies or like crime movies or stuff like that. I'm just kind of drawn to those darker depictions of real life.
And I get that in your videos too.
Yeah.
I get that.
So it's like, and so even today, I feel like the type of videos that I shoot, like the rap videos or like the hood videos or anything along those lines, I've always kind of been interested in that lifestyle when it comes to like my art, in a sense. Like it's always been something that I've wanted to tell as accurately as possible.
Right.
So I think tying that in with the street photography was another one of those things where like I felt like I was kind of, because I was like a freshman in high school. Like I'm this like 4'8" kid, like this little tiny child, and then I'm just enjoyed like taking BART and then walking these random streets all by myself, and then just taking pictures of strangers. Cause like especially when I look so like that era, what I'm talking about, that's like pre what's on my Instagram, but like I was doing that like when I was really little, and all of that stuff. When you're such a small kid and you walk up to random people on the street, there's no like people aren't as weirded out, and it's less like
sure.
it's like, oh hey, like what, like it's just confusing. But like I'm not as into that anymore, because like it's just I don't know, I feel like I'd get a little bit more awkward like just walking up to people and intruding on their space. But when it's a little kid, people are even just more interested in like, oh, that's cool.
Right. They're more welcome to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
But pretty much.
So, how'd you go about getting clientele in the beginning and putting your work out there?
So really for me, it was like I shot my first video. It was junior year, might have been the beginning of junior year. It was my friend Jay Walt, who also went to Oakland School for the Arts, and I think that I don't know what the connection was, but I didn't really like talk to him that much besides like, oh, let's shoot a music video. We shot a music video, and then his friend wanted a video also, or I might have hit him up, and then I had shot another video, and then worked down the friend line, and then I think the first main person that I shot with that really kind of started a snowball effect was when I shot with Boovie, Lil Boovie from Oakland.
Yeah, I remember that video.
Yeah, no, he was the first person that like a real stranger that I had never met, but like I'd listened to his music a lot, so when he hit me up, it was like really big at that time. It was exciting, but like a real true stranger that I just met on Instagram, and then really showing me very genuine love, and like he's taking me to places that I've never been before. I've never been to at that time I had never been to specific parts in Oakland that he took me, but then he made me feel really safe, and then really like protected, and like, no, when you're with me, like you're good.
Yeah, that matters.
Yeah, no, and it like really built up my confidence, and I really respect him for kind of putting me in the positions, because especially at that time, like, I mean, damn near everybody for a year straight that I shot with knew me from shooting with Boovie. Like, he just had a huge friend group, or a huge amount of people that kind of were somewhat connected to him that saw the video that I shot with him, and it was, I got really lucky in shooting with him, because it just really started a snowball, and there was it was just basically spider webbed out, where it was like this friend group to this friend group, and then but it started with his video that really started that network effect. And definitely at that time I for sure wasn't charging money for videos. Like, I really didn't even realize that was a thing.
Right.
Like,
you were just doing it for the fun, like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw a lot of other people, and I followed other people that were shooting music videos, like We the Party Sean. Like, I knew about him, and then I ended up meeting him, and he was really honestly the first person that introduced me to being like, no, you can make money, like you can charge doing this, and people will pay for you to pull up and do this for them. And here is kind of like, do you have Cash App? Do you have Venmo? Do you have Zelle? I'm like, no, I don't have any of that. Like, I just have a bank account. And then he put me onto that, and then
that's what's up.
And that kind of tapped me into like realizing, oh, this is a thing that people really do as
a job,
like a thing.
Make a career out of this.
Yeah, so then I really tried putting a lot of effort into understanding what's, through a lot of trial and error, like a lot of missteps and a lot of like successes and whatnot, but um, really trying to put an effort into like, okay, like I want to do it correctly, like I want to pull up and then have someone pay me for my work and then be understand that it's like a very well it's like a very solid transaction, and then both parties walk away happy,
Right.
and like I
Right.
can continue doing this and I can grow from it. I think that there's a lot of ways, especially when you're shooting like rap videos, music videos every day. There's a lot of ways that you could fuck it up,
Right.
like for sure. It's if you don't move correctly, or if you don't like present yourself in a certain way, especially when you pull up, when you talk to people through DM. There's so many ways that you can create a miscommunication or a tension, and then you pull up and it fucks everything up. Like it's genuinely very serious the way that you conduct yourself in a business sense, not even just artistically.
Right.
And so I think that I just try to like really understand it and get better, and I'm still really working to get better at it because I'm definitely not there all the way.
Right.
But I think that it's super important. That's one of the biggest ways that you grow yourself is through one half of it is through like improving your art, and then the other half is improving your ability to conduct yourself in a professional manner and get rebooked and have people like walk away working with you and feel good about it.
Right.
Um, I for sure can't speak to everybody that I work with. I'm sure that there's a good percentage of people that I work with that I shot a video for them and we've walked away and they didn't feel good about the transaction, and I definitely want to improve that because there's so many ways where it could go wrong. Like it's just endless.
Right. Right.
But yeah.
Is it a thing where like they don't like the video or something like that?
It could.
Like,
I mean, it could be anything. Like, it's miscommunications on what type of video they're getting, and sometimes a lot of times it's like, at least for me, I genuinely can't make a dope video unless I really feel inspired by the song.
Right.
And it's kind of rare that I really get sent songs where I'm like, ooh, okay, like I could really do something here. So it's most of the time it's like, kind of feels like it's pulling my hair to like try to put something dope together if I'm not really feeling it. It's not like a diss on anybody. It's just my taste is different than your taste. And
right. Right. No,
so
I feel that.
yeah. So it could be anything. It could be like the quality of the video that I give them compared to the other stuff where they've seen me do. Like there's a lot of times that's where cameramen kind of get messed up a little bit, is that they have really dope videos on their page, and then people book with them, and then they kind of fuck off on the video, and then that's where it's like, yo,
Right.
I thought you were fire,
Right.
like.
Right. Right. Why my video don't look like that? Yeah, for sure.
And there's hella reasons for why that happens, but is making sure that there's an understanding and that expectation is met.
Right.
And that's where when you walk away and people like you and want to book you more.
Thanks. Like, man, y'all better listen, man. If you starting out with the camera, so you better listen on everything. So, it seems like you found your style pretty early on. Every time you shoot a video, I automatically know by the color, the font, and the camera work, like that's you. You feel me?
Thank you.
So, how did you develop that style so prematurely?
I would also kind of go back to what I was saying earlier about always being kind of drawn to like more gritty things, and especially when I really started shooting videos, pretty much besides like Sean and We the Party Kaz, or We the Party Sean and Young Kaz, Jesus Christ.
I know what you mean.
Good Lord. And like Rob Driscoll, like there's a handful of other people, but that were already shooting videos when I started. But besides like those guys, pretty much everybody else that was starting at the same time that I was, they were all doing a lot of effects in their videos.
Yeah.
Like they were going really heavy on every single shot, like trenches.
Right. You don't do that shit. It be clean as hell. Like
yeah,
you
no,
know,
I mean, it's like I respect it to people who do that. Like, I mean, I was fucking around with After Effects in like 9th grade, and I don't know, I just came to the conclusion really early. It's like, oh, I don't like doing this like at all, and like part of it was just not liking the process of doing the effects and doing a lot of that stuff, and then the other side is that I just don't find it to be that cool in my own videos. So I kind of really try to differentiate myself early on with like, because especially early on when people really didn't know me or know my style that much, like people would ask all the time like, oh, like, yo, how much for effects? And I just be like, I just don't do it. I'm not gonna be like, give me 200 and let me like see what I can do or whatever. So it's like I think you know, I'm definitely still very, very, very far away from where I want to be as far as stylistically. Like I'll see videos on YouTube where I'm like, ooh, okay, that's where I'm trying to be headed. But I think early on it was just enjoying kind of like more desaturated and kind of gritty looks. So that was what I colored my videos for a long time. Like I've tried to switch it up recently with the coloring, but and then also really staying away from the effects. And then also, like I think another thing that I really enjoy that I know not a lot of other people, but I really enjoy doing the titles. Like I think that the intro and the titles is probably the most important part of the video.
Right.
Is like how you introduce someone. And since like, I mean, I was messing around on Photoshop and Illustrator, like at the same time that I was learning to do cameras in like middle school. Like I've always been as comfortable and excited to do like graphic design stuff as I was doing film or pictures in general.
Right.
So I've tried to just really focus on making that as clean as possible, because that's something where like I'll see a dope looking video and then they just have the corniest title on earth, and it just immediately makes me think that it's just like a cheap video. Even if they had the most crazy elaborate sets or they did insane effects or whatever in the video, if they have a corny looking title and you can tell that they don't really know what they're doing, it just immediately devalues like the whole thing.
Right.
So that's one thing that I've tried to really put effort into, is like every video, like I get lazy sometimes, but every video try to like do a little bit something different or something that I haven't seen other people do, and just spend a lot of time in that. So yeah, but I think where my style hopefully is going to evolve into, and what I'm working on right now, is kind of working more in like multimedia formats. So like mixing in a lot of like VHS as well as like film footage, like and like film photography, and you know, different aspect ratios, like black and white to color, and like all in the same video like that. I'm really into trying to push my style into that direction.
Right.
So I think that's where people could probably see where I'm gonna evolve, and I'm already trying to get there right now. But you know.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see it. I already think you dope as hell, so
thank you.
You feel me? I'm excited to see what you have next for sure. Really welcome, man. So how did you learn how to color grade, bruh? Like
I mean, I think early on I didn't realize that people used LUTs, like people purchased LUTs. Like I swear I think I only realized it like a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, that damn, mostly everybody that who's shooting videos is just buying LUTs. Like I like that was, I just thought that everybody was making their own colors from scratch. So I mean, maybe I'm like underestimating people right now, but I just assumed that everybody else was making their own LUTs from scratch. So I was doing that, and then I kind of found out that most of the people that who also shoot videos just like purchased LUTs, and then around that time that I figured that I was like, oh, I should sell the ones that I do have. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's funny how I color grade. Like I just put an adjustment layer over the whole sequence, and then I'll, one video I'll do a little grade over it, and then I'll just copy and paste that same adjustment layer from the one sequence to the new video.
Right.
And then I basically just gets passed along. It's almost like this one color grade that I did 2 years ago. Like I'm still tweaking it.
Right.
I don't know. It's funny. Like every video I'll do like little adjustments. So I'm working off the same thing, but it's just like it's evolved. It's evolved over the years, and it's just one thing that's just gotten a bunch of different layers over top of it, or different things. So I think that's one thing, is just working off of pretty much the same adjustment layer for like a crazy period of time, and then just tweaking it every single video. That was one thing, but then I completely switched up. It's funny you asked that, because it's kind of like a niche question, but like this one adjustment layer, this one color grade, or LUT, I guess, but it wasn't really a LUT, that I was using for basically 2.5 years. Like, this is one pinnacle thing that I had, and then I'm like, alright, I'm gonna start from scratch, I'm gonna do a new one.
Right.
And then now I'm kind of more into a little bit more saturated, like a little bit more vibrant colors, but I'm really trying to get as close to like a film look as possible, so that's what I'm working on right now with the new set of looks that I'm kind of working on. But
Right. So film photography has become very, very popular in the last few years, and shit like that. Do you shoot film? Do you?
Yeah.
A lot. Do you like it?
Yeah.
More than digital, or it's kind of like its own thing for you?
Oh, I mean, it's for sure its own thing.
Right.
Like, I think the first film camera that I had was a Yashica T4, and I had that in high school, like before I was really shooting music videos, and I was kind of fucking around with that. That camera, since it's just a point and shoot, just film picture camera, there's no real settings. You can just turn the flash on or off.
Thanks. I have a point and shoot.
Yeah, there's nothing, and it's like, I think those are a little bit deceptive, because it's like, there's not a whole lot. It's really just composition at the end of the day. So it's a little, and like, I feel if you just have a normal frame shot and you take the picture on this camera, even if it's not that interesting, it's just gonna come out looking raw. Just because it's film.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's a little so. Artistically, I think film pictures, and like I've tried to learn shooting for motion picture, like Super 16 or Super 8, and then 16 millimeter. Like I have both those cameras now, and those are like a crazy learning curveball. It's like technically doing it and making sure that you get the image it's a lot more difficult or a little bit more stressful, or it's like you don't really know what you're getting, but then you can, since you're putting a little bit more mental effort into making sure that technically like you rolled the film right, and the stress levels with that, you can feel pretty confident that you don't have to put as much effort into like framing the shots or whatnot, because it's just gonna come out looking raw. So that's one of the things where it's a little bit deceptive when you get into shooting film, is that it's like, oh, okay, I figured out how to like do it, and then everything that I take, it just looks great.
Yeah, the vintage look is everything.
Yeah, so it's like what people don't realize is that you're kind of slacking off a little bit of the effort on, because if you just took two different cameras and you framed it at the same thing, and we were just looking at the trees or whatnot, you took it one on the digital camera, one on the film camera, obviously the film camera is going to look out way raw.
Right.
So it's like with the digital camera, in a sense, you have to put a lot more effort into like making that, because everybody's so used to what the digital look is, and all the digital cameras already look so great, but there's so much more room for like Yeah,
Yeah.
error, and also like you gotta put a little bit more effort to make it, to separate it.
Right.
So, not sure if that made sense.
Nah,
like
that
the
definitely
analogy,
makes sense.
but
Yeah. For sure. I definitely feel that. The film, anything gonna look good. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, for sure.
yeah. So it's a little bit deceptive. Like I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
you
I
gotta.
see what you're saying.
It's like since it's so easy, I think, or at least me, what I'm trying to work on next is like up the quality of like how dope I can make it.
Mhm.
Especially all the film stuff that I've shot so far with like B-roll for music videos.
Right.
Like I'm just pointing at random shit. It's like, and then
Mhm.
I'm just throwing it in there just because it just looks dope.
Right.
So what I'm gonna try to work on is like that footage that I'm getting. Once I've got the technical side of it, like that footage is like, whoa,
Right.
that's
It's a
another
different
level.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I definitely understand that. So, you co-own Blink Tone Studios with IMX Sebastian, right?
Mhm.
Make sure y'all go check him out. Check him out, man.
Hell yeah.
He's definitely raw too.
Hell yeah.
So how'd you guys meet, and what can you say about the company, man? How'd y'all get started?
So it's also kind of funny how I met him. I didn't meet him through Instagram or through anybody, um, like any mutual friends.
Mhm.
Like I literally bumped into him completely randomly
Like on the street.
in an Uber.
Oh,
In
what
an
the
Uber,
fuck?
yeah, in an Uber pool.
Yeah.
So I was in LA, and this was like 2018. I was starting to shoot videos. I was out there. I was shooting with some artists. Um, Super dope stuff. It was one of like the first times that I went out there and I was shooting things, and I was like, when you're in LA, you just kind of throw a rock and you can kind of get in the house of like a famous person if you have a camera.
Mhm.
So that was kind of one of those situations where I was like, holy shit.
Right.
Like, so I was out there, and then I was coming back from that shoot, and I don't know, it was like 10 in the morning or whatever, and I was like going to my grandma's house in the Uber, and we passed by Melrose, and then the Uber, the lady who was the Uber, she was asking, because like I had my camera in my lap and like my little tripod between my legs. She was like, oh, you shoot videos? And I was like, yeah. And me at this time, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, because I'm used to being in the Bay, and like shooting videos is kind of like a unique thing.
Mhm.
Like so it's like so I'm thinking like, oh yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Like in my head, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty unique. It's cool that I'm shooting videos, right? But it's like I'm in fucking LA. Like everybody shoots videos.
Right.
So she's
Right.
like, oh, you shoot videos? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay. But like, but so we pull over. I was already talking with the Uber. We pull over on Melrose, and then this dude who looks like the same age as me gets in the back seat, and then he also sees the camera in my lap. He was like, "Oh, you shoot videos?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, we are just talking." Like,
Mhm.
and then he was like, "Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Like, where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm from the Bay." And he was like, "Oh shit, I'm from the Bay."
How ironic.
I was like, "Whoa,
right.
that's weird." And I was like, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I shoot videos too." I was like, "Whoa,
Right.
that's weird."
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, what year you graduated high school? He was like, and I was like, whoa, that's weird. It's the same year as me.
Right.
And then so it was just like an instant, but it wasn't like that big of a deal. It was just kind of like a random encounter.
Mhm.
And then on the way out, especially because at that time I didn't know that many people that were also like shooting videos outside of like people at my school or the people that I already knew who were established.
Right.
And then so he gave me his Instagram, and then we just exchanged, and we just went on with the day.
Right.
And it was like 3 or 4 months later, but really, like, I find out now that when he said that he was shooting music videos, that was cap. He was not shooting videos at that time.
He wasn't?
He had no videos on his page, nothing.
Yeah.
And so when he like sent me his first video, and then he was like, or one of his first, and he was like, oh, yo, check this out. And then we just started talking, and then he was like, oh, yo, and this is over the course of like a year, and then he was like, oh, yo, I got this shoe with I'm Sue, like you should pull up, because he broke his leg skating at that time, so he was just like on the little wheelie thing, so he couldn't shoot, but then Sue wanted to shoot with him, so I was like, all right, fuck it, yeah, I'll pull up. It was just right around the corner from where I lived, so I pulled up on him, and then we shot the video together, and then went over to his house after, and we were editing, and then we just like started linking all the time, And then that was kind of around the same time when we both were kind of growing our names and shooting music videos together. So it was like a literal complete random encounter. But I think it's cool because it was the most genuine way to like to meet someone. Because then
he was a stranger, just like you got over. We just talking,
Yeah, and then so after that, I mean, so when we opened Blinktown January, or we got the lease like January 2021. With that, I mean, at that time especially, before, like right before then, for both of us, like music videos were booming. Pretty much like the most booked up time like I've ever been. Pretty much all of 2020, but really late 2020. Like that year was just ridiculous. Like, so we were kind of just like, shit, what do we do with all this stuff that we're making? Because it was more than we could even kind of really do with it. And then we just kind of, he was like, oh, like, actually I don't even know who really brought it up, because I think that he brought it up like randomly in passing like a year prior to that, but we didn't talk about it. And then I was just like, yo, we should open the film studio. He was like, bro, fuck yeah, let's do it. I've been waiting for you to say that. And then basically within just like a month after initially saying we should open it, we just found a place and we just got the keys, and then we just like put all the stuff in. It took us like a month and a half to basically revamp the whole place, because when we got the keys, the place was completely destroyed. Like it looked disgusting in there. So repainted everything, had to tear out a bunch of stuff, tear walls down. Like it was great. It was super fun. Probably one of the most fun and fulfilling months of my life, just being able to kind of put the camera down for like an extended period of time and like not feel
DIY type shit.
Yeah. Cause so that was great. It was just pure fun and being like excited. And it wasn't necessarily super like, oh, this is gonna be something that's like huge or whatever, or any huge expectations with it. It was just kind of like a fuck it, why not? And then it was super fun to build. But yeah.
That's a dope ass story, man, for you to meet somebody in the Uber and then y'all creating something so dope like that, man. That's dope as fuck, man. For sure. Meeting somebody like that. On everything. So, do you feel like it's rules on what makes someone a real photographer or a real videographer?
Like rules being
like the technical side, like you have to have this, you can't use this, you know, like.
I want to say no, but
that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think that also a lot of people I see on like Instagram Reels or like YouTube Shorts or whatever, like people, I mean, it's pretty, like there's such a low barrier to entry with having a phone or whatnot. Like pretty much anybody can take pictures or photos or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think so, because you can still be a photographer and basically be the creative director and have somebody else hold the camera and take the pictures for you. Like there's all these different levels to everything. So it's, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard, but really when it comes down to like starting and shooting music videos or starting being a photographer, like the titles is where it's like I don't really have strong opinions on that, because in general, like just the definitions of words aren't like super significant. But when it comes to getting into like shooting or being a photographer, it's really like anybody could do it. It's all about just being strategic with the stuff that you buy, being strategic with how you talk to people, being strategic with like how patient you are, because it's really just all about consistency. That's all it is. It's just consistency, like, because even consistency in the willingness to try to learn and push yourself. It's those two things paired together that's like, it doesn't really matter at all where you're starting from, because everybody who's shooting videos or was a photographer started without a camera.
Right.
Like, nobody was born with a camera in their hand.
Thanks.
So it's like you gotta start somewhere, and like obviously there's a lot of people that are like, oh, like I'm a picture, or like I'm a photographer, and you know, or a videographer, and they do like goofy reels or whatever. It's like, okay, like that's dope. And it's, you can do a lot of crazy stuff, but really, especially where the world is going with how cheap, stupidly cinematic cameras are gonna be in the next 10 years. Like that's where the line gets real blurred. Is that it's like iPhone cameras aren't there yet.
Right. But
like,
they will be.
They will be,
Yeah.
for sure. And so that's where it's like, you know, you gotta really understand the technical side. And you know, if you don't have the money to buy a camera, it's hard to kind of dip your foot in. But really, the one thing that's going to be hard for companies to basically put people up, like, so when it comes to companies making nicer cameras for cheaper and cheaper, there'll be a lot of people that are shooting videos or photographers or whatever,
Right.
that are going to be put out of business because so many more people that are younger kids
Have
or
access to it.
have access to the same thing. Like, if you think about, like, there's a lot of old guys that have cameras that have been photographers for since like 1990 or whatever, and they just have like this, you know, they got this Nikon camera in 2002, and they've been shooting like model photography. Like, you know, there's a lot of like older guys where their work honestly just doesn't stand up today.
Right.
Like, a lot of the reason why they're able to have like a huge career and basically build a whole life off of photography was that not a lot of people had cameras when they were shooting.
Right.
And it's gotten to the point where now the cameras are so much cheaper and so many more people are into it. It's like there's a lot of people like that get weeded out.
Right.
So if you think about just that right now, a lot of the people right now who have cameras, like, if you just think about, okay, if everybody, my exact camera setup or better, if every single person was given access to it, would I and given access to it and given like at least a year to learn, would I still be in business?
Right.
It's like if your only skill set, essentially, and if your videos aren't that creative, or you don't have some kind of like intangible thing, like a art or stylistic look, the only draw to you is that you know how to use this thing that not a lot of people know how to use.
Right.
Like, I can't record myself making a song in the booth because I don't really want to put the time and effort into doing that. But same thing, eventually, I mean, I don't know that much, I'm just saying shit, but like, eventually, like, you'll be able to record studio level stuff on your phone, and it'll mix it instantly.
Right.
And then
right. Technology is crazy.
Yeah, so it's just making sure that it's like your only draw to people booking with you isn't just you knowing how to work or knowing how to use this tool. It's something more intangible that you
Just
can't.
be more creative type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. So, how do you turn lyrics into art, visual wise? Like, you hear a song and you be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
I'm not gonna lie, I really never listen to lyrics in songs.
Never. Is it more of the beat?
Yeah, it's the beat and like the flow and just the vibe. Like, I mean, I'm not even joking. Like, I care like 2% what people are saying in songs. Like,
Right.
When I listen to music, I just don't really hear what people are saying. I just hear how they're saying it or what their voice sounds like. Like, if you got a cool voice and you know how to flow, like, that's really kind of all that matters to me. So it's really just like, just matching the vibe and the pace of the video for me. Because, I mean, when I'm editing, like, I'll match up, like, I basically edit two words into beat, like, when their syllable hits a certain, like, sync it to that.
Right.
But I'm not ever like processing what people are saying, honestly.
Right.
Like after the fact, maybe I'll listen to a song. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? They were talking shit right there.
Right.
But I'm never thinking about it. Like,
it be the beat.
Yeah.
The flow, the style going crazy.
Just for me.
I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
For sure. Not like. Do you ever like deny like clientele based off the song? Like, okay, like I just can't get with the song. I'm not even gonna shoot the video. Like, be honest. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I wish I'd do it more. I feel like that's even a spicier comment, cause I'll shoot a lot of videos and I'm like, good fucking lord, like, Jesus, like I don't, like I'll give you what I can do, but I mean, cause I mean, depends on what kind of mood I'm in and how well I know somebody and how much I just want to shoot in general. Like a lot of times I just want to shoot. Like sometimes I don't really care that much what it is. Like I just like being out and I like having my hand on the camera. And so that'll kind of blind me a lot of times where I'll take bad songs or I'll take like objectively bad clients and I'll make a bad video because I just don't care. Not that I don't care about the business side of it, but I just want to be out in general and shooting because
I just outside with it.
Yeah. So it's like, so I think I've tried to kind of pick and choose the songs that I shoot a little bit more, but you know, sometimes it's just like just a dope person. Yeah. I respect it. Like you're a nice guy. Like I respect your hustle, whatnot. Like maybe at some point, like you'll start making music that I vibe with. But I'm gonna be nice. I'll pull up. I'll pull up and I'll fuck with you even because my taste of music is for sure different than a lot of other people's taste, and so it's like so it's I can't judge. I'm not gonna say it's objectively bad, but I'm just not vibing it.
It's not for me.
Yeah. But
I'm
cool fucking with people even if I don't like it. Like.
This is based off the person.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, everybody's different, man.
Yeah.
For sure. So, we gotta talk about that Fredo-Adam combo, man. It's crazy. Like, I literally love every video you guys do. Like, cause I'm such a big fan of Fredo Bags.
Yeah.
And I watch all his videos. Like, in a post recently when it was like, music videos are dead. I'm not understanding that though, cause it's like, okay, yeah, you have a song that's going crazy, but you need the video. I want to see what you look like. Yeah. I want to see the vision behind it. You feel me? Like.
Oh, are you talking about who said that?
I don't know who
Joey
said
Badass
that
or
shit.
something?
Yeah, like,
No, it's not Joey Badass.
I don't know who it is, bro.
It was. I know the post you were talking about.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just to go off of the last comment that you just said about music videos being dead. I strongly disagree with that, and I think I feel like I'm pretty self-aware. Like if objectively music videos were dying, I would be able to recognize that pretty quickly. Like,
cause you do them. I mean, shit, yeah.
But I mean, if anything, just dropping an audio track without a video, that's more dead. I feel like just progressing even okay, maybe super high-end budget production videos, that might be dead. That might be on its way out for sure. I can get behind that statement.
Yeah, they're not doing that no more. Like people going outside, regular cameraman, not that big production.
I mean
now,
that goes exactly with what I was saying with how just the way the world is moving. Like it's getting easier and easier to make fire videos. Like I mean, with a $600 camera, $400 camera. The sky's the limit. Like it's really like it's to the point where really, it really is not about at all the money. So I can see. I mean, okay, it is that there's a lot of sides to it where video quality increases with money, but not to the extent where $1 million video will move the needle as much as it did 10, 20 years ago. So that's on its way out. About shooting with Fredo a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the few artists that I'm super comfortable with.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Yeah, and I could, not to cut you off, but I could see that shit, man. Like, it doesn't seem like it's cameraman client anymore. It seems like y'all actually have a relationship.
Yeah,
and I can
yeah.
see that from, you know, the actual work, y'all, because he's constantly working with you.
Yeah, I mean,
You
well,
know what I mean?
okay. So one of the things that really will make me like it depends on what my schedule is, but he can call me whenever, and if he says if yo, can you shoot tomorrow? And if I'm free tomorrow, like I'll drop pretty much mostly anything, and I'll be like, fuck it, let's go do it.
Right.
Like I really cannot say I really can't say that for much of anybody that I shoot with, because with him, it's the absolute easiest stuff that I do. Like, he's by far the easiest client to work with.
Right.
Like, when it comes to like his movements, like what I really like about him is that it really affects the video quality based on how the artist is moving.
Right.
Like, if the artist has really good like hand gestures and timing,
Right.
and kind of like camera presence, it makes my job 20 times easier. Like, it'll genuinely make the video more fire.
Right.
And for the artists that, you know, they're a little bit offbeat, kind of fucking up on the words, like, it's crazy how much it really affects the video. Like, it would be really hard for me to make a dope video if the artist is just not on beat, if they don't have good motion, if they don't know the words. So that's one thing with Fredo, is that he, like, even if he doesn't know the words, he'll do some motions.
I know
like,
exactly what you're talking
like
about.
he'll do movements to where the whole, like, all of our performance takes that we shoot are clean throughout the whole thing. So it makes it super easy to edit.
Right, Fredo taking one takes.
No, I mean, really. And, like, when I pull up, straight love, like, super cool, like, all his homies, like, I fuck with all of them. You know, he's always got great ideas, like, like, he has the perfect balance of, like, adding stuff to the table while also just letting me do me.
Right.
Like,
I know you love that shit.
Yeah, so it's like, I'll pull up, I want to hear the song, I don't know even what we want to shoot until I get there, and he's like, you want to do this one or this one? And I'm like, oh, fuck it, let's do this one.
Right.
And then what do you want to do? Shit, you got a friend with a car, let's drive around, let's do this. And it's like, and then so he'll add little things like, oh, yo, I know this spot up the road. What if we go up there? And it's like, I didn't know that existed, but then when we went up there, he's like, the stuff that pisses me off the most and, like, makes me not want to, like, really snap with an artist is when they're, like, micromanaging me, or when there's just certain vibes that just completely throw me off and make me not want to fuck with somebody at all, and make me, like, kind of fuck off in the video.
Facts.
And he basically doesn't do any of all those things.
He just lets you do you, like.
Yeah, no, he literally just lets me do me, and then I try to, like, on every video, do a little something that I've never done before. It could be, like, super subtle, like, maybe it's like doing black and white in a certain way that I haven't done it before, or, like, just, like, a slightly different transition that I haven't done. And so, like, I consciously try to push myself on his videos, like, a little bit.
Right.
Because, I mean, it is funny that you mentioned that, like, how I shoot with him a lot, because, like, pretty much everybody that knows me from shooting videos with him. Like, every now and then there'll be like somebody who saw, like, a video with Mike Sherm or whatever that I shot. But it's like 98% of the time, if I meet somebody, they'll know me through Fredo's videos. So I'm aware that a lot of the clientele and a lot of the people that I work with and know will watch the video that I do with him. So I try to, like, put in like a little, like just a little bit more effort. Just knowing that like I'm trying to push myself and have people be like, and kind of see a little bit of the diversity in what I'm able to do.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. No, it definitely makes sense, man. Yeah, man. I can't wait to see what y'all got in store next, man, because it definitely be going crazy. The song and the videos. Like,
Yeah, and
sure.
and he makes fire ass music. I love
fire ass music.
I
bro.
love
I'm
all the
slapping
songs.
That, bruh,
I love all
slapping that nigga
yeah.
for real. Yes.
Yeah.
Bro, he one of the hottest in Oakland. Like
sure.
there's no denying it.
For sure.
So you work with artists like Larry June, Babyface Ray, Jake Miller, Slow B, RP man, Briss also RP. So who's by far your favorite artist you work with this far?
Well, I mean, Fredo.
Yeah, of course, Fredo, right.
I fuck with my guy.
Other than him, though.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to say like favorite just in general, but one person I will say that really threw me off with how much I enjoy working with Mike Sherm.
Mike Sherm. He's
Like,
dope, man.
I really genuinely respect him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really, I'm partially also saying him because I know that people will know him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of other people that I work with that are just genuine, nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's far too many to list. Like, there's so many people. Like, that's really what keeps me going is all the people. Like, there's a solid 20 people that I've worked with over the past 3-4 years
Mm-hmm.
that have really kind of kept me going.
Right.
But it would be hard to list all those names. So I'd just say that Sherm would be one person that I really respect with how he moves and how he conducts business with people that he works with, because not a lot of people of his stature would talk to people like me the way that he does.
Facts.
And
Facts, like a regular person.
Yeah, and so I really like working with him. Anytime he hits me up, I feel really good shooting with him because, I mean, I really cannot say that about everybody, but he's one of the genuine folks.
Right. Yeah, I work with him and shit like that, and he always, every time he posts my photos, he tagged me, bro. A lot of people don't do that shit. Like, they will not do that shit. So yeah, he's real for sure.
Definitely.
So you recently worked with Rucci, helping create his documentary. I think it's called Like Father Like Son, right? Am I Like Father Like Son? Yeah. How did he bring the idea to you, and what was the vision behind the final product?
Well, okay, so that was a pretty large project. That was honestly the biggest project, like the longest that I've worked on a project in my entire life. And so through Empire, I was told about the fact that Rucci wanted to do a documentary, and he'd already done a documentary before that kind of touched on all the bases of introducing who Rucci is. Like if you watch the first documentary that they did a couple years ago, it really is like, oh wow, okay, they touched on a lot of things. And so when they said that they wanted to do another documentary, it really had to be something where it's like there's a new story here for me to tell, or else I'm just kind of reiterating something that's already been said.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it was a pretty long process of planning out what we wanted to do. I think that there's a million things that I would have improved on or done differently, but it was a great project for me to learn and kind of get better at shooting those types of projects, because I'm doing a couple others that right now that are very similar that I probably wouldn't be shooting if I didn't do that video.
Right.
So it was a great kind of like stepping stone to get back into doing projects like that. But yeah, no, it was great. We drove down to LA one day. We shot a lot of the footage down there in the studio, and then we drove down to Tijuana, across the border, and then he met his dad for the first time in like 2 years, and then introduced his kid to the dad who's never met the kid, and so it was great. It was super genuine moments, and that was what kind of drew me to the project, because if there wasn't that emotional tie to the story, like I wouldn't have shot it. So
right.
I thought it was a cool project to be a part of, but I wish a lot of things that I would have improved on. But
man, I thought it was dope, man.
Thank you.
I thought it was dope for sure.
Thank you.
So I got a couple more questions before we get up out of here. We gotta talk about you directing that Red Bull commercial with Larry June and Babyface, right?
Oh.
Did you do that?
It was me and Sebastian.
Okay, so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, so that one, it was just kind of through the pipeline at Empire, and Sebastian heard about it, and then he was like, "Oh, yo, this is dope. Like, Adam, you wanna work on this with me?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it. Why not?"
Right.
And so, but you know, with a thing like that, and trying to get both Larry and Ray in the same space at the same time for like a ad, like a promo video, like it just wasn't gonna happen, just because they both have completely different schedules and all this stuff.
Right.
So we knew it was gonna be like a little bit of kind of logistics, figuring out how we want to do it, but we knew it was gonna be like a super simple video in general. But it was cool to work with Red. Like I didn't do a whole lot of. I didn't personally talk with anybody at Red Bull, but we got sent like very, very, very specific timelines and briefs and all these things and all these like concept. So it was the most like professional booking experience and like client experience that I've ever done, and it was super fun to be able to work under those kind of like very strict deadlines and timelines and all,
like
and all,
some real shit for real.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it was really cool, but I mean the actual shooting of it was kind of hectic, because Sebastian shot with Larry in San Francisco, and at the same time, like literally while he's shooting with him, I flew to Detroit that day, and I shot with Ray.
Right.
And so we, you know, the 4-hour flight out there. And then right after the shoot, we had like a 3-hour window where we were in Detroit, and then we were able to shoot. We pulled up on Cardiac Films, who shoots a lot of like the Detroit videos. He pulled up with this little like grip truck, and then we just shot that real quick. But I mean, it was pretty wild, because like I've been to Detroit before that, but never to like that area. But bro definitely took us to the trenches for sure. And that, I mean, Detroit is like, they're different. Like, you know, it's super open carry.
Right.
And like, I don't know where the fuck we were at, but we were standing in front of a liquor store, and it was real tense.
Right.
Like shooting the video, like, I mean, because we knew that no matter what, we had 3 hours to shoot this fucking video, and we had to get back on this flight, and it was for Red Bull, and we couldn't fuck it up.
Right.
Like, so it was super serious, like no matter what, like, like, so we had to get this, but we're definitely standing outside, and it was real like, all right, let's get this shit done. Right. And so it was just stressful, and it was like fucking hot, and it was like, yo, let's do this, let's get it done, let's get the fuck out of here, because it was hot, temperature-wise, and hot.
Yeah.
Hot in general.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, for sure.
So, but it was cool. I mean, pretty simple video, but it turned out fire.
Right, man. Hey, man. Y'all definitely doing y'all fucking thing.
Thank you.
For sure. I'm happy to see it, especially you being from the Bay, man. A lot of people don't get a lot of support out here, but I'm definitely supporting y'all, man.
Thank you. I've recognized that. I feel like you've given me a lot of love throughout the years.
Hell yeah,
and
man.
like very consistently. Like, I mean, I don't know when I first met you or when we first got in contact, but I've definitely noticed the very consistent support.
Hell
and
yeah.
I super appreciate it.
For sure, man. It's love. For sure.
Because that's one of the things that you know, makes people like me want to continue.
Right.
Is getting that reassurance from people that it's like, nah, what you're doing is cool. Like keep it up.
Right.
Like just simple stuff like that. Even if it doesn't feel like something significant in the moment, it really it compounds and it really helps build the momentum for people to just continue following their dreams and make sure that people realize that it's like this is something that people appreciate me doing.
Right.
So
Right. Hell yeah, keep doing this shit, man. Keep doing this shit. So, what's the overall goal?
I mean, I want to do like a bunch of different little things throughout my life. Like I want to start a bunch of little off-spurt side projects and all these different things. But I mean, the ultimate goal for me is, I mean, it's kind of obvious from most people who shoot videos want it, but I definitely want to start a production company. I mean, I see myself being 40, 50 years old, and that's kind of the role that I want to just age into.
Thanks.
Because I pretty much see this being my general career, like my whole life. Not rap videos specifically, like just that.
Right.
But I mean, I kind of always want to be in the game, so it's like I think building something bigger than myself has always kind of been the goal.
Right.
So and that was kind of the objective with Blinktone, but I definitely want to try other things beyond that and really building something that can last and can kind of run without me.
Right.
But I mean, it's kind of obvious. It's kind of that's kind of like an obvious answer for somebody like me, but and I feel like a lot of people say shit like that, but I mean, that's my thing too.
Right.
Like,
Right. You just want to be forever type shit like
yeah.
that. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Generational type thing where your kids can have, can inherit some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. So, that's my last question, man. Where do you see yourself? I'm pretty sure everybody asked this question, but this is for real. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
That's a good timeline because the further out for me is where it gets a little bit more murky. I know where, like I said, like the production company. That's the inevitable that I want to get to. But 5 years is where it gets a little bit like, all right, how, what's the direct path? I mean, I definitely, hopefully I'm able to kind of continue a trajectory, and I wanna get bigger and better videos, music videos, for sure. I wanna expand into. I want to shoot a lot more R&B stuff. I really like Afro beats right now. I want to shoot a lot more Afro beats videos.
Right.
But I definitely do want to get, shoot with bigger artists, shoot bigger budgets, shoot doper videos. Like I really want to improve significantly. So hopefully in 5 years, hopefully I definitely want to be a staple in the industry.
Right.
Like
right.
But I also really do want to shoot bigger documentaries. Hopefully I would want to do like a feature documentary, like it could be like a piece on an artist, but I do want to do bigger projects like that. I do want to get a little bit more back to my roots and kind of get more into photography. But yeah, I mean, I really just want to improve in general. Those are kind of broad answers and kind of obvious answers also, just better and more of what I'm doing right now. But I have no plans of stopping anytime soon.
Right.
So it's like and I'm not on like a super specific timeline as to like when I want to get to the certain places, but I mean, I definitely I really think I can, and I really want to get to the highest level that I can as far as shooting my own videos.
Thanks.
And then at some point be able to pass it on to like building some larger company. But yeah, so 5 years. Hopefully, I'm shooting some crazy videos. Hopefully, hopefully you look at it and you're like, wow, he fucking improved.
Man. Look at this video. It'd be like, damn, like I'm hella big now.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, hopefully I'm able to look at my videos now like, damn, that was trash.
Right, like now I'm raw as hell.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's been another segment of Sparking Up with VANSNWEED, man. We got Adam KG outside with us. Hey, man, we out.
Dang.